until I got to college, and I was like, nah, this is not for me, so I switched majors to industrial engineering, and right before, then I switched to mechanical engineering because I like the balance between the hands-on. I'm a nerd, so I like the balance between like the technical aspects, and I like the balance between the hands-on aspects. The summer before my senior year, I was working an internship at General Motors, and I was doing, I don't know what I was doing actually, but it was something important. And I was doing it, and then I was talking to a friend who I used to rap with at school, just kind of playing around freestyling with. So we used to just put on beats and like freestyle for like hours, just when we should have been studying, you know? And so we were talking about like forming this group and all this other stuff, but it was kind of just halfway talking, and then one day while I was there on the floor, I realized like I would rather wake up doing what I love every day than being more prosperous and doing something that I was seeming to be taught for, right? And so basically that's why the name Epiphany was chosen, because Epiphany means like a sudden divine revelation, so it hit me like bang, like you're gonna rap. But of course for myself, and we'll talk a lot about this, is like I didn't want to just be one of those artists that just is an artist. I knew I wanted to be a businessman. I wanted to be smart about it, make a living for myself, and also it wasn't just the art and the love of the music, but it was also the fact of I saw it as a way to impact the community and the world, right? Because a few things from a capitalistic standpoint was if you get on a record label and make the label a lot of money, then the other labels have to get somebody else that's like you. It's kind of like when Kanye West got big in the States, then all of a sudden you see the Lupe fiasco, the Drake and Come, Talib Kweli's. So from just a business standpoint, if I can be myself and I guess we say progressive or positive, then they would have to get somebody like me, because from a financial standpoint, that's just how business works. So it's kind of like if you rapped about cheeseburgers, but all of a sudden you went a multi-millionaire platinum artist, then the other labels are going to find somebody that raps about tacos, somebody that raps about pizza, because that's just how the business works, right? So I was trying to be smart about it. The other reason was I saw it was a way to communicate with anybody. So it's like I could be from Arkansas and go somewhere and people would grill me. But if I could rap in a cypher with them, they would automatically accept and show love. Like kind of the same way with slammers. Like you could be somewhere and they not know you, but if you know someone else is a lyricist and a poet and a slam artist, there's automatically a bond there that you guys don't even have to know anything about each other, just respect. And also rewinding a little bit before that, another reason I got into music was I used to be real insecure. I used to be scared of water, and I used to be scared of public speaking. So whenever I got in front of an audience, either this size or larger, I would literally just start sweating. I would start stuttering. So I had my freshman year, I had a class with a whole bunch of seniors, and I had to do a presentation with another senior. He did his part, it was great. I got up there and I was like, oh, yeah. You start doing like the, start doing the noises, then like next thing, like waterfalls start coming down, a little pit sweat. They'd like sit me down and like literally sit me down and like, I ain't cry, but they'd sit me down, like calm me down, say it's gonna be all right. So I told myself from just a personal spiritual basis, I was like, I didn't want to fear anything. So I chose to be in a talent show and rap because I wanted to get past being afraid of a public audience. And so I started rapping, and I found out I loved it, and that all led to my decision. How I got here, after I graduated and explained to my parents that I wasn't going to be an engineer and be a rapper, I moved to New York for a while. I was actually a substitute teacher, which was the worst job. That was the hardest job of my life, man, but that was rough. And then I was teaching, I moved back to Arkansas, and I decided, like, let's go about it like a business. So I hooked up with a business partner. I was like, let's use what we learned from New York City and take it to Arkansas because it's a much smaller market, and let's use those tactics because we don't have as many resources. If we do something in New York, it completely gets glazed over. But if we do it in Arkansas, it's going to be bigger because it's a smaller market. I'm going to talk on that a little bit later because a lot of y'all may be looking at like Mauritius, because it's small, there's not a lot of opportunity, but because there's not a lot of opportunity, sometimes the plan is, that means there's somewhere for you to create opportunity and then expand out. So then I went to Arkansas, we started getting play on the radio and things of that nature, and there was like a few other artists we respected. There was a group by the name, a conglomerate by the name of Dat Heat, that they also were doing something similar to what I was doing, and we met him one day, happened to be this guy. I met him on the corner one day. He was leaning back looking at me kind of like, yeah, who are you? Exactly, right? Once he realized who I was, and like, hey, you rapping, he realized he had heard of our stuff, and I heard of his. It was kind of like,